You're not concerned about the fact that accountability is what the legislators are asking for here. Clarity as regards what this money is spent. For instance,
no, let me just deal with that frontally.
Can I just read this out? This is contained.
So
one second, please.
There's something. Wait,
1 second, please.
With the point.
1 second.
Yeah, go ahead. Please.
So there is a statement from the Office of the Vice President that stated some of the things monies were supposedly used for. And then one of us, you talked about it. So let me read it out to you. 829.026456 million naira requested by NEMA for, as you said, general logistics, branding and packaging, tracking, security, personnel, media and publicity. Is that, you're not concerned about all of these kind of figures for the purpose of accountability? Why do you think the lawmakers will waste taxpayers' money just to bring all these things out?
So that's the point. That caption of what you have, is an extract from the report. It's an extract from the report. And what I'm saying is that it's a bagging process. There was no branding here. It was to bag grains that were in silos. So it's just a simple thing. And logistics of moving, having 707 trucks deliver, all these grains from these 4 places that I've identified earlier. So, but the interesting point here is that when you look at the question of the constitutionality, there's an allusion to Consolidated Revenue Fund. Everyone knows, and they say there's an infraction of Section 80 of the Constitution. But that's mischievous. It's mischievous because you have a service-wide vote in the Appropriation Act of 2017. If you look at the items listed, there's a contingency provision of 15 billion naira. So, I'm just wondering how they came to a conclusion that this contravened Section 80 of the Consolidated Revenue Fund. So the Consolidated Revenue Fund is where all revenues earned by government, earned by the Federation, goes into. That's where statutory transfers are drawn from. Statutory transfers to the judiciary, to the National Assembly, are drawn from. So, and the Appropriation Act itself specifies items. Now, to think or to imagine that you can plan ahead and put down a specific budgetary item that says we are going to do a food program for the Northeast and it's going to be itemized is the most mischievous thing that you will find. And, just to say that, I mean, look at in the history of investigative report writing, this is the most embarrassing I have seen. Well, you say I'm totally
in an emergency, so that cannot be done. You cannot think ahead and do a budgetary plan so that you itemize it. That's according to you.
So but in an emergency situation, a general budgetary item.
Hold on. In an emergency situation, you can specify. In an emergency situation, you can actually sit down and break it down in bits.
Can you tell me what floods would occur next year?
I'm asking a question.
Can you tell me the floods that would occur next year?
Yeah,
can you tell me the next natural disaster that would occur?
In an emergency situation.
That's why it's an emergency.
We're on the same page here. So in an emergency situation,
yes, please.
You can't plan ahead what floods will happen. But now there's an emergency, you can itemize what you need the monies for. Right?
Absolutely.
Which is what was done according to the response from the Office of the Vice President. Okay, but so in this emergency situation, there's no, according to the lawmakers, no company bidded for any of these tasks or jobs that were given out. Are you aware of that?
No, but that is untrue. That's also a patent falsehood. See, is it inaccurate to say no companies bidded? Because the procurement process that was followed, as I said, under Section 43 of the Public Procurement Act, clearly says, it says that in an emergency situation, as in this case, and I told you before that in the consultation process, the Central Bank of Nigeria identified that we have a grain reserve program, where are you going to get 15,000 metric tons of grain from? The market. So what would have been interesting was if you had a mom and pop shop at the corner, you had Ikem, Isiekwena and co doing this sort of thing. But you have reputable companies who are known for, dealing with these large-scale grain quantities and aggregating it from the primary producers, the farmers out there. And you had a program that essentially had captive grains in different places, in 4 different locations. And everyone was in the room, and there was a price quotation from these guys. There was a rebate applied on these grains, and you can check what the market price is. And you see the purpose, if you read section 16 of the Public Procurement Act, that they allege that was contravened. You see, the efficiency of a procurement process is one of the fundamental principles in the public procurement law. So I don't see how this can amount to anything other than what this is: a hatchet job. It's a witch hunt. And I think, it's reprehensible. And for all well-meaning Nigerians, just as myself, I'm shocked that this can come from the National Assembly. Absolutely shocked.
All right, thank you very much.
Absolutely shocked. Just read through the Act. Read Section 16, read Section 43, read Section 42, read Section 16, subsection 2 of the NEMA Act.
All right.
Read Section 80 of the Constitution very well. And just come with an objective, fair view, not a partisan view. As you know, Mr. Issa Ali
that would be a good place.
Is representing a constituency, a federal constituency. And
it's a good place to leave it there. Mr. Ikem Isiekwena is a legal practitioner and a supporter of the All Progressives Congress. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. Sunrise Daily will be back in a moment. Please don't go away.